kitchen. You were here with Team Mad Rational in the building with me, Twitch for Life, TriggaTrey, and MrBroadcast, art behind the camera once again. And we are here today talking about blockchain, the blockheads, and then stuff in the Santa Fe for some reason. Here we go.
R. Kelly, you know the R&B singer that puts the R in R&B, who also puts both R's in statutory rape, has released a new song called I Admit It. So let's get into it.
Weak, but who these niggas trying to say I am? Man, I'm not, and I put that on chief. I admit I fuck with all the ladies, that's both older and young ladies. But tell me how they call it pedophile because of that shit, that's crazy. You may have your opinions.
Cut it. Let me explain something to you, R. Kelly. Pedophile is a person who has sex with children. And last time I checked, you were married to Aaliyah whenever she was 14. And you had sex with a girl in Chicago whenever she was 14. Both these girls were in 8th grade, making you a pedophile. And the craziest part about your pedophilia is the arrogance of it. You wrote and produced Aaliyah's album when she was 14 and had the nerve to call it Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. You are a nasty nigga. Oh wait, I forgot. You addressed those two girls. Okay, let's get into it.
Houseway. How do we keep letting R. Kelly get away with this? Like, how does R. Kelly continuously walk around as a free man? I don't understand.
I've got 2 points of views. I got 2 different segues I can go with that. I'm gonna defer to Lance on this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the other. So whatever you say, I'm gonna go with the other. Trust me, I've got this.
You know what? And I would say this: I was prepared, but I didn't prepare art to have my first piece of rebuttal was to pop up Boondocks episode 2.
Oh yeah,
the R. Kelly case.
Was it 2?
It should have been episode. Is either episode 2 or episode 3?
I thought it was episode 1. I think it was episode 1.
No, I thought 1 was when they moved into. 1 is them moving into the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's
was
the
it
one.
Yeah, is it
He's in the
first
garden.
one? Okay, maybe it is in the first season. Okay, so yeah, but you know where I'm going with. Yeah, so right there, I think Mr. Huey laid it all out there for
As
us.
a matter of fact, got a mix that starts with that scene. We'll talk about it later.
Let me see.
Hey!
What the hell is wrong with you people? Every famous nigga that gets arrested is not Nelson Mandela? Yes, the government conspires to put a lot of innocent black men in jail on fallacious charges. But R. Kelly is not one of those men. We all know the nigga can sing. But what happened to standards? What happened to bare minimums? You a fan of R. Kelly? You want to help R. Kelly? Then get some counseling for R. Kelly. Introduce him to some older women. Hide his camcorder. But don't pretend like the man is a hero. And stop the damn dancing. Act like you got some goddamn sense, people. Damn. Don't playing around here. Boo! Hey, you with the afro. Give it a rest. Beat it. Put the music back on.
You know, it's not even about R. Kelly being free and not in jail. It's about how, as a father of these other girls, is R. Kelly still alive?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
as
he's
a
a
father of a daughter, and that's my situation, if that would happen to my daughter, I wouldn't even be here right now to say if that would happen to my daughter. We'd be talking about it through the C-Murder phone. You understand what I'm saying? Because
Through the plastic glass.
you know what I'm saying? I am
Plastic
not
glass. That was
directly
stupid.
saying what would happen to R. Kelly, but I wouldn't be here at this table to discuss what happened to R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't understand how these parents get on
Pause
stage.
for America. I want y'all to know the smile that was just on this man's face. I want you to understand the sinister plot that was behind the smirk.
I'm just saying. Much respect
I'm
to the
not
families that
anywhere
this happened
affiliated with this first degreeness.
to. All I said. Look, I'm just being real.
This is
man.
premeditated at this point.
I have. What have I directly said that I was doing R. Kelly? All I said
First
was,
of all, you
if
named
it
him. First of all, you
Yeah,
just named
but
him.
all I said was, had it happened to my daughter, I wouldn't be sitting here to talk about it.
Which means that's the exact definition of
You
premeditation.
said
Nope.
you also said you'd be talking through the C murder phone.
Yeah. Hey. Nobody seen I got the hookup? Hey. Then I got the hookup.
That was-
Master P have a phone company.
That was right before Twitch said plastic glass. We're not going to let him get past that. He did say plastic glass.
I said that
But
was
I'm just
stupid.
saying.
I did throw
Think
it in there.
about it. What did I say?
But I mean, you still got he's a celebrity, so he's got a security detail, so you might not be able to just directly get to him. It's going to take a little bit of time.
Questions
First
that will
off,
incriminate
wait
myself.
We're
getting way too deep. We're
That's
getting
the
way
last
too deep
thing
into
you need
this.
to bring up
Wait a minute.
to me on
Yeah,
that.
we should not be-
like that is not the piece of the conversation we need to have.
No.
See, now we're gonna have to cut this, man. All right.
But you asked me a question. You said you asked a question like, why aren't we talking about this? And I'm saying we're not talking about this because he's got a security detail, so it's not going to be that quick. Not saying it's impossible.
What did we discuss about chair placement? What was my first response to you? At any point, that thing was like, "Sure, buddy, whatever you want." You think that's the issue for me? It would be more an issue of making sure I made it back home in time to feed my cats than worrying about what you just brought up. That's not the issue.
So R. Kelly and this track. What was
Sipping on my tiara.
yeah. So what was your the ending of your statement? What was the
Here's the bottom line, Artemis.
yes, the bottom line. Yes.
Bottom line.
That's the line at the bottom.
As a father, regardless of what happens in a court, there's no way R. Kelly would still get to sing on live television had that any of them been my daughters. Bottom line. No premeditation in that. Facts. He just sat there and gave me a whole song talking about how he's not taking any responsibility or any recourse for anything that happened, and he's the victim in all of this. Nah, player.
Trey, you also have a daughter.
I do. I'm not disagreeing with you.
You know, so like it's not often Trey's left speechless.
I'm not speechless. I plead the fifth.
But it's not a court of law. You can't really plead the fifth. It doesn't really mean anything here.
It doesn't. Here.
Here.
It doesn't.
Man, look here. Bottom line, that damn admitted song is bullshit.
Oh.
Bullshit. And you know Mr. Broadcast ain't never stepped outside of his carol like that ever on The Kitchen. But when I'm... Put a pin in it. Put a pin in it.
We're gonna pause that. There was an edge of the pool, and we almost jumped off the diving board right there.
I'm just saying, man, what is it that allows R. Kelly to get away with all this stuff, man, you looking at? And again, it's not even about a black or white thing at this point. You look at like the whole issues in general with sexual harassment and sexual assault and the way it's being picked up in Hollywood. It's like R. Kelly escapes all of it. All of it. You know what I'm saying? They tried to come at Morgan Freeman for talking about something that wasn't even dealing directly with the lady who brought up the thing.
He wasn't even talking to the lady.
That's what I'm saying. And they tried to come at him with that. But you
I
got
don't
R.
know.
Kelly on. You got R. Kelly on a platinum selling Vivid Eye DVD.
So we also have a gentleman that's accused of things that are not so savory. That's the president of the country.
That was one angle I was going at it. Like you were asking how he let R. Kelly get away with this. we put somebody in office that was grabbing women by the pussy.
It's real.
Allegedly.
Oh, allegedly. But did he not make the statement?
Yeah, he made the statement. Like, can you allege yourself? Is that a thing?
He can do a lot. I mean, obviously he's towed the line with this Twitter thing. He knows exactly how much credibility Twitter has. He can tweet what he wants to tweet on a daily basis and get away with it. So, you know, we look at R. Kelly's video evidence. We look at his verified Twitter account evidence. I mean,
yeah, but then
it's the real world.
Howard Stern. That's where that statement was made too.
Then you gotta. So then, yeah, it's like went on Howard Stern. So how credible is this? And yeah, you got a lot of back and forth with that.
You know what's really funny is that you got video and audio evidence of all kinds of crazy stuff, right? But then there's still people that will stand in your face and be like, the media's lying to you. Sir, I saw the video.
Yeah.
Like, sir, I listened to the tape. I wasn't listening to their report on it. I saw the tape and it stopped. It was like, something wrong here. So how are they, like, where's the lie?
It's quite interesting. I don't know. To answer your question, it's quite interesting. Sometimes I sit and I think I was having a conversation yesterday with someone, and it's kind of like they were asking about our current president, and they were saying, you know, how's he still in office, blah blah blah, and I was like, I think he's thinking the same thing, you know, like I think he's thinking like, hey, I did it. I think it's kind of like America was like, you know what, America, we'd never put Donald Trump in office, you know, a guy like this, and America said, hold my beer.
Right.
Exactly what happened.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing we said, like, OJ would never get caught doing anything again.
And then he wrote a book.
And yeah. Like, Jesus. Anyway, back to other matters at hand. Okay, so earlier today, you linked something in the Instagram which had a term in there that I didn't quite understand. Right? I asked Art. Art's not fast enough to respond. However, TED Talk was my friend. Right. And I kind of just want to bring it up just a little bit, right? And I know like everybody's not gonna be familiar with it. Art's gonna be familiar with it, but this blockchaining thing, like, that's interesting. Like, it's mad interesting. You know what it is?
No.
All right. So we got a couple minutes. All right, throw up a like one of the quick little explanation, like simplified videos, right quick for everybody.
Modern technology allows people to communicate directly. Voice and video calls, emails, pictures, and instant messages travel directly from A to B, maintaining trust between individuals no matter how far apart they are. When it comes to money, people have to trust a third party to be able to complete a transaction. Blockchain technology is challenging the status quo in a radical way. By using math and cryptography, blockchain provides an open, decentralized database of any transaction involving value, money, goods, property, work, or even votes, creating a record whose authenticity can be verified by the entire community. The future global economy will move towards one of distributed property and trust, where anyone with access to the internet can get involved in blockchain-based transactions, and third-party trust organizations may no longer be necessary. The uses of blockchain technology are endless. Some expect that in less than 10 years, it will be used to collect taxes. It will make it easier for immigrants to send money back to countries where access to financial institutions is limited. Financial fraud will be significantly reduced, as every transaction will be recorded on a public and distributed ledger, which will be accessible by anyone who has an internet connection. Think of it as wills and contracts that execute themselves, or dated proof of existence for ideas, much like a patent. Blockchain will become a global, decentralized source of truth.
Imagine, so that in all the business, there's these things called ledgers, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so those ledgers keep histories of everything.
Right.
And so it is a decentralized ledger, basically, right? So where multiple sources can update the ledger, and every time a source updates the ledger, it's verified and duplicated, right? So if one source messes with the ledger, it is then authenticated against all the other ledgers that were duplicated, right? And it's basically like a ledger system that can't be hacked, because it takes a certain amount of like, it audits itself as it produces new information, right? And so there's applications for it when it comes to money. There's like, for instance, like the Bitcoin. There's applications for other industries, whether it be like real estate, like buying a house, right? And so when you talk about all the ledgers they give you when you're purchasing a house, right? It's got all the history of that house on it, right? And so there's multiple parties that are involved in gathering all the information. So if all those parties have access to a centralized ledger, every time each one of them updates it, it updates all the ledgers, and then it's duplicated. So if one person decides to delete something out of the chain, then it's only one ledger versus all these other ones, and then it audits itself and then corrects with another algorithm to tell you who tried to alter the information, right? Like automatically. So it takes the auditing piece out of the equation completely. It also has other applications in like the music industry for like digital streaming, right? So because it's constantly updating against itself, artists can get paid instantly. As soon as you stream a song, they're getting paid. Money's rolling into the bank
across the board. It's not just
right.
like on iTunes. It's not
right.
just, it's all of it together as
right.
one thing, saying this is how it's being streamed. And
every single party involved is getting paid immediately. Their portion of the stream every time the item streams, right? So
so what you're doing is explaining the how the blockchain works. Right. However, you're not explaining the value.
No, I'm not yet.
So yeah, the value is the bits of code that are that are found from these computer ledgers, these online ledgers.
Mm-hmm. So the value basically, how it's oversimplified, right? Because it's not just simplified; it's oversimplified. The value is in the fact that it takes the need to trust the party you're doing business with out of the equation.
Right. Okay.
Right? Because you can trust the blockchain.
Right. Okay.
Right?
That's what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? And so it's like super interesting idea. However, the current government that's set up at the moment doesn't support it, as I'm told.
I think it's one of those things. Just Americans, people in general, aren't used to this idea yet. It's same thing with the blah, blah, blah. I said a stroke.
That too.
Don't actually have a stroke.
It's the same thing when we try to come up with any new idea. It's
implication. Is that where we're going with?
No, implementation. That's the word I was looking for. Whenever
glad we got past that. Glad we got past that.
Whenever we implement blah blah blah. Whenever we start
implement.
Whenever we implement a new thing into society, there's always going to be pushback because people aren't used to these new things. And so this is
comfortability of change. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So the idea is that this is a new type of currency and people aren't used to a new type of currency. So there's going to be pushback.
Yeah.
Especially with the idea that you can definitely trust it.
Yeah. So that's a huge thing. And like the companies are scared of it because they're not going to be able to get around the things that they have up until now been taking advantage of.
Right. And so one of the things they talked about is corrupt governments using the process for elections, right? Because it's basically unhackable, right? And like I said, it's the oversimplified idea being put forth there. I mean, because it's super complex, but I mean, like, imagine that here to know for sure your vote counted, right? To be able to track for sure, right? My vote counted and it went towards electing this official. Right. So no, just know for sure. Like you trust it a little bit. You trust it enough because they tell you it's trustworthy, right? But to know that it's checked against millions of other bits of code at the same time, right? And over 50% of the system has to agree with the solution in order for it to be duplicated.
Well, in order for it to pass.
That's what I'm saying. That in order for it to pass as the next official piece of information.
Okay, yeah. Hey, you selected this person, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Gotcha. You see what I'm saying? It's like wow, that's a crazy idea.
The oversimplification of it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That idea that it broke down all that
and so
complexity to that simple thing. Hey, basically, I'm saying all this is you can trust me. Okay.
Right.
For it to be used as currency, the way we have currency now is, the way we had currency up until relatively recently was there was a metal standard, a gold standard, and that meant that the gold, every dollar had a gold amount that was attributed to it, and so we knew that we could trust this dollar bill, this piece of paper's worth, because it represented a 1/millionth of a piece of gold or whatever. However, gold, as we've learned and as is no longer the case, has no value. It is
by the gold,
right?
The gold anymore.
We all the only value the gold has is that we have given it value.
Right.
And so with these Bitcoin and Litecoin and these these, what are they called? Blockchain currencies.
Well, it's not blockchain currencies. It's currencies governed by blockchain technology.
Right.
Yeah.
However, they're based in the blockchain.
Yeah. So the blockchain controls how it's distributed and traded and all that. Yeah.
But the value given to it has to be agreed upon by everybody using it, which is also why it's not trusted at the moment. Is because if you walked into a store with Monopoly money, no one's going to sell you anything.
Correct.
You have to, the person who's receiving this currency has to trust that this currency is worth something, has to give it value in their minds.
Because the Monopoly money doesn't have the "in God we trust" on it somewhere. That's the problem with it.
Oh yeah, right.
It's not FDIC insured. Right.
Well, unless you're an old man walking into a mall with a $2 bill and you're trying to get you two McDonald's biscuits, then you get the police called on you for using fake money.
Yeah.
Because the girl was too young to understand that a $2 bill is a $2 bill, so she had the police. She called the police on the senior citizen for using the $2 bill to pay for
I don't know
2 chicken biscuits.
That's the world we live in, 2018. On that note, I went into the Matrix customer, talking with somebody, and I had to explain. She explained the situation to me, and I said, "Yes, ma'am, you were the victim of a 3-way call." So what happened? And she did not understand that technology. She's like, at the time, she was like, "Your company allows this?" And I was straight faced. "Yes, ma'am, actually it does." And she was like, "Nobody ever told me about this." I was like, "You're right." I said, I apologize that you were not informed that you could be on the phone with 2 people at one time.
So I don't think everybody understands the shit, like the moment of Trey talking to a customer, because exactly how he just said that is exactly how he talks to the customer.
Exactly. I was like, "What's your problem, ma'am?" And she told me her problem. She explained it, and I said, "Yes, ma'am, it sounds like you were the victim of a 3-way call." And, we went through it, and then, I had to assure her that you can't just slide into a conversation. She thought that with that technology, anybody could just pick up the phone and just enter her conversation with somebody else. And I had to let her know.
Digital party lines now?
Yeah, I had to let her know, "Ma'am, you have to, that merge button, you have to hit that to allow them to merge." And she was, she got on the phone with her husband instantly in the store and explained to him, "Oh, did you know they just taught it to me?" Man, it was an amazing moment. I thought we had a severe problem on our hands, but she was so in 2018, and that happened like less than a week ago.
Man, look,
so I believe your $2 bill.
I'm gonna give you a historical fact. I remember back, man, in the 90s, before you really constantly had call waiting on your phone. People will call the operator and have the operator break into your line and be like, such and such is trying to contact you. Would you like me to click you over to the other person while you on the phone? So just messing. Whoever you talking with know all your business.
Whoever you're talking to,
because the
they
operator
know.
has no shame. No. There is no excuse me. There's like,
you on the phone with your girl.
Yep. There's like, excuse me.
You just told me you wasn't talking to such and such. Oh yeah,
man. That's wild.
That's why the pager was so important.
Whenever I hear you talk about your interaction with the customer, it's this one moment that pops into my head.
Okay.
Back when the what are those was popping, right? I don't know if it was me or if it was Eric at the time. Like dared you to ask this gentleman.
Yep.
What were the shoes he had on his feet?
And I did it. I know I did.
In the man's face.
Sir. What are those? It's probably how I said it. And the guy looked down, and this guy was, what I say was crying. He could not hold himself.
Dude got excited that Trey asked about his shoes and began to tell him all about those.
I'm sorry. If you're watching, you see this? I did want to know about those shoes, sir. I did.
Oh my God, it was hilarious. Anyway, back to this blockchain. Why are we going back to the blockchain? We're done.
I don't know.
We're done. What's on your mind? Like outside of premeditated thoughts about R. Kelly. Like,
okay.
A lot of this show has been about the kids.
One way or another.
Yeah. Children. I believe in children of the future.
I really thought you were about to say, I believe I can fly. And I was like, man, please.
No. No. As a matter of fact, all that music has been taken off of Spotify too. So it's crazy that they ripped all of his music off of Spotify.
They took it all off?
Oh, it's all off.
Supposedly it's all gone.
Because of that song?
No, it was before the song,
before
the allegations and all that stuff. Supposedly if you go to Spotify, all of R. Kelly's music been taken.
We're talking about children. Let's go to children in the industry. I'm going to make one historical point and then a new point. And I'm going to need some assistance with the new point because I can't remember the young lady's name. I don't want to mess it up. But historical point, man. Speaking of children. Riding over here, I was listening to some old school songs. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to, I can't think of the name of it, Michael Jackson. The cover he redid of Smokey Robinson's song. Was it When I Love You? Who's Loving You?
Yeah, okay.
He did that at 11 years old. The way he sung that song at 11 made you forget a grown ass Smokey Robinson is the one who originally did that song. Yeah. And just started making me think about different children.
Well, Smokey Robinson likes that version better than his.
Right. That's my point. It makes me just think about different children who really everybody had there was the little different it kids, the Romeos, the Sammys, and stuff like that. And no disrespect to them
last week.
No disrespect to them. But Mike, man, at 11, musically.
Yeah, he mastered the age of music at 11 years old.
Definitely. Definitely.
It made me think about, because there's a young lady that they're talking about, like the youngest ever female signed to a record label. I can't think of her name.
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that. I don't remember her name on top of my head, but I did see that.
But it just made me start thinking of, it just made me thinking about all the young rappers. Made me think about Chris Cross and and all them and everything like that.
Those people, like you said, are game changers. They do, because they transcend that time. They make you forget. You have to constantly remind yourself, like, this person in high school, this person got to go to school in the morning, or this person still has to pass this test. This person doesn't even have a high school diploma, yet they are producing this amount of work on a daily basis, a weekly basis.
That's how Wayne was.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, I was gonna, and it was funny because of the song we got playing in the background.
Definitely.
We got him and we got Chris Brown, and people. So Chris Brown has been so functional,
Right.
consistently. We forget he started back
When he was like 16.
Yeah. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Like that is the forgotten piece of Chris Brown, not in a negative way, but
Right.
he's been so consistent.
Right.
He's just been there.
Right,
You know?
and that led to early success, and then I watched the documentary they had on. Was that on Netflix? Was that Netflix? I think they had the documentary. I seen a special on it. I think it was Netflix. Yeah, matter of fact, I know it was. He talked about that, his success at an early age, and then all the stuff he went through with Rihanna. He said at some point, you know, you got to remember, man, like I was 17 years old. We forgot that. We as a people, you know, as a whole, individually, somebody remembered, hey, this dude's only 17. But the lessons that are taught, the what do we call them? The lessons of life lessons that we learn growing up. That person was inevitably robbed from it because they were in the spotlight at all times. They had to learn to deal with stuff we don't have to learn to deal with. Camera being on them at all times, things of that nature. But to your point, definitely that person had to learn to deal with those things, and some of those life lessons are forgotten, and that's the downside to them, and that's the side that makes them human, that they're trying to express to us, like, hey, I'm a human too. I gotta pay. We're like, but you don't stand in line at Walmart. You don't have that experience. You don't have that experience of, you know, having to deal with, you know, driving. You have a driver. You don't have to learn to drive. Do you even have your driver's license? When did you get it? And you come to find out, some of the people got their driver's license at 27, 28 because that early success. They didn't.
There was no, not a need. There was no room for it. There was no time to study to drive because I'm flying
Right.
everywhere.
Right. I have a private jet. What do I need to drive?
Right. And you get that. I mean, you can even go as far as some of your athletes that are seen. You know, I'm pretty sure, I haven't watched it, but I'm pretty sure the Williams sisters at an early age, there's some things that they probably missed, or their parents had to ensure they got. Hey, hold on, before we keep going, let's make sure they get this. Right. I want my daughters with a driver's license. I don't know, you know, and that's something that we don't think about when we look at celebrity. You know, those people are, because we treat them as celebrity, but you can almost call it, you know, superhuman.
Well, that's the thing. That's why we connect with celebrities through a completely different means of connecting with people, right? So, like, we don't connect with celebrities like you and I connect. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? We be at the same place and we start talking, have a conversation, and we connect based on experiences, life experiences, right? You connect with celebrities based on a shared social experience, right?
Yes.
Through, whether it be like cultural, whether it be you know, some product or service that they do that you either need or want or see, or remind you of yourself. You have to invent that relationship rather than create a mutual.
And then it's always amazing. Then it's always amazing when you talk to people who talk to those celebrities and they tell you the same thing. Oh man, they're really down to earth. Oh man, they're really cool. She's really cool. She's just a blah blah blah. She's just a normal person. You have to remember.
I'm glad you said that part, but that goes back to the perception versus reality and escaping away from the human factor of these people who are celebrities. Because then when you meet that celebrity who's an asshole, well, you now have this overblown view of him that you go, oh, I don't want to deal with him because they're an asshole. Well, as a person, there's 1 trillion assholes in the world, right? That person just happens to be on TV.
There's only right over 4 billion assholes.
Right. But then we do the grouping all those people together.
Centipedes.
Yeah. But then we do the thing of when we come across that asshole, we put like celebrities, whatever celebrities we put in that, whether it be comedian or, you know, young comedian or whatever. Oh yeah, I don't like them young comedians because they think they this and that. It's just like a cell phone.
Right.
Okay. You get people every day. Ah man, I'm leaving iPhone. Well, why are you leaving iPhone? Well, this iPhone I had is so stupid. How many iPhones did they make?
Right.
That one device, that one electronic device gave you problems. Now, I'm admitting this phone is messed up, but you're going to throw the whole company away, and that is a big problem. That's perception.
That's literally where racism comes from.
Literally, that exact idea. Yep. And it's so funny because there's so many direct correlations between those experiences. And if you're not sitting here thinking about it, or if you don't take the time to reflect on it, you'll miss it. It'll totally go by you. You can, like you said, that's the basis of racism, and you'll see that. But if you were to ask that person, "Ma'am, excuse me, are you a racist?" And they'd be like, Whoa! No, I just don't like this phone. Well, why don't you like that phone? And then you could go into a whole conversation.
Right.
See,
why don't you like that phone?
I can't, it's like, cause it's broke. I'm not, and I can't do that on my job, obviously. But you want to,
Right.
It's funny to some degree. It's like, no, man, I'm just kidding. But in actuality, that way of thinking, or that line of thinking, that train of thought, is quite interesting. It's funny that we got to racism from the kids. Did you do that? You did that. Okay.
We kind of spin it. I usually take it somewhere.
That's how you. Is that how he does it? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But I'm waiting because Art leaned into the mic 3 times while you were talking. I don't want him the chance to say what he was going to say.
Okay.
Oh no, I got nothing.
You got nothing?
We're good.
You were just pausing?
I was
you
looking.
nothing. You know I keep you in my side eye.
Right. Because you got the what is it? The home improvement thing happening with the eyes.
He's got the picture in picture going on.
I know your thought face, Art, and you were like, ooh. And then he was
I don't get the thought face. It's the thought squint because I can't see his whole face from here.
Yeah.
So it's like the squint. It's the cheeks go up and then the eyes squint real hard.
No, y'all covered all bases.
Did we?
Inside the park home run, I guess.
Yeah, and we are talking about
inside the park home run means there's a bunch of people that just could not put their hands on the actual object,
right?
That we hit.
Fashion,
but it have to cover all the bases to do it.
Covered all the bases.
You're correct.
To do it, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, for the people in the field that was supposed to be,
how rare is that?
Retrieving the actual item,
which makes it a rarity for us to have covered all the bases. Again, that's why I say what I say, because at the end, I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
We're going to get you there.
In the end, he's on a treadmill the whole time.
Gotcha. Okay. See what we got.
Is that a sport, the treadmill?
Oh, bang, bang.
I gave you that baseball reference. I let you run with that one. Art over there? Not so much.
But the messed up part is, like, I be in the gym.
Yeah. But the impressive part was that we were having sports references.
That's what I'm saying.
That was
I
amazing.
enjoy. That's why I let run with it. Yes,
you were there
because life.
Look, let me explain something to y'all about me and sports. All right.
You just did. You showed it to us.
I know.
Go ahead.
That's why I'm impressed.
Sports.
Look, well, here's the thing. It's not that I don't know about sports. It's that I don't want anyone to know I know a little bit about sports, because I don't want to have any sports conversations. And so it's easier for me to be completely stupid than to talk to anybody about sports.
So you're like
dumb.
Okay, so you're like the how do you say this? Bilingual people that come into the store and act like they don't speak English.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. Is that the face?
Yeah.
No, it's the face.
Yeah, like
at the very end.
Yeah.
At the very end was the face.
So what else you got, man? What else you do this week, man? What'd you do? What'd you get into this week, man? I know you said you were in the gym, obviously. So what else you get into this week?
It's funny that you asked what we got into this week. So this week on Thursday. Yep. We met with Jared Sampson again, who's been on the show, right? Where people may know him from Southern Charms New Orleans. Southern Charms NOLA. Southern Charm NOLA. Jared! What up, Jay? Anyway, so he invited, I believe, directly invited Lance, and I told Lance I'm not missing it, right? To a cafe in New Orleans called Back of Town NOLA, which is a really cool spot, by the way. If you got Google, type in Back of Town NOLA, BACKATOWN space NOLA, right? and take a trip over there. Go check it out.
Like Basin Street.
Yep. It's a black-owned coffee shop in the city. Really cool ambiance. We got invited there by Jared Sampson to sit down and have a conversation about race, right? Just in general, right?
Definitely.
And the conversation quickly evolved to business. Like it went from beginning with race and it went to business, right? And from that conversation erupted a sense of urgency by all people involved in the conversation to want to do something about the issues at hand, right? And so
the issues that you guys discussed,
the issues that we discussed, right? And there's been like at that table was a call to arms, basically.
Yeah, right.
Like we had a call to arms, like, look, we're talking about the issues, let's do something about them, right? Let's identify them and let's do something about them. So right now we're in the talks, in the conversation, figuring out what the problems are, identifying them down into specifics, right? And formulating solutions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so being a part of that conversation was really cool, really interesting. It allowed for some people to, put their thoughts on the table. You know what I mean? I've while I don't normally feel like really young and really green at tables, at that table I felt really young and really green to the subjects at hand, around such prominent people in the community that that were sitting there with us, and it was cool, like how the energy just evolved, like at the table, people, like we began, it was myself, MrBroadcast, and Jared talking. Someone else joined in, right? Began talking with us, introduced herself, talked with us. Then another person sat down, talked with us. Then another person, then another person, then another person.
Then a group of three.
Then
a group of two.
Yeah.
And then it was like, but you look, I mean, we got a crowd of people sitting at the table.
So were these passersby that joined, or
these were people that knew about the conversation happening?
Oh, right. So they also were invited.
They were invited. Yeah.
So you being there was totally okay, because it was like, I'm calling MrBroadcast and anyone you feel like you got that open invitation.
It was specifically posted like at Mad Rational because of the podcast. Okay. Like they wanted, because that's what we do. We talk. We have conversations. You know what I mean?
So what's the call to? I mean, did we get any specific action for the call to arm right now?
We're working on that. Like it's been 4 days.
Word. But this is the way this conversation went, and the people that we were conversing with. Mm-hmm. This was not just let's just sit at the table, talk, and then walk away. This is a planned scenario of let's get these things together, and we're going to start building with each other on it. So yeah, there's going to be some time to make the progress, but there's definitely pieces put in positions to make this progress happen thoroughly and effectively to make this change.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, and I think the first project that's going to be, kind of joined together is going to be the Phil Santa Fe. You know what I mean? So stuff to Santa Fe, not stuff to Santa Claus, stuff to Santa Fe, right? That's going to be the first thing that definitely, I guess, gets talked about in there as far as a physical representation of our menu.
This is a byproduct of what we're doing. Okay.
Boom.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that's how a lot of major things that are changing the community. Some things, when you go to a new area, anybody that's new to the greater New Orleans area, let's say 2 years from now, anybody that comes here for work, oh, what's going on in the community? And then they hear about it. Oh yeah, every year such and such does the stuff to Santa Fe, man. We know they do it. And that's how that stuff gets started. So it's amazing that you're there, that we're here looking at the beginnings of it, because 2 years from now, you're going to remember, oh man, this all started with a conversation at a coffee shop.
It's next year. Hopefully it'll be stuff the Santa Fe's.
Or maybe stuff the Suburban. I don't know.
Oh.
They're coming out with Santa Fe XL.
Oh,
yeah. So 2019.
Straight plug. Can you tell us that? Can we broadcast that? What do you do?
Official spokesperson behind this slide out. So
Boom. Mr. Official Broadcast.
So if he's the official, then that means he got rights. Yep, it's legal. There you go. Had a rationalize in my head.
That's on him, not us.
Yeah, man, but he's here, and we can't, like, my brother's keeper. I'm good. No? I'm good.
I trust when he.
Again, off the camera backstory.
Right. I'm good. I don't need blockchain to trust my brother. Full circle.
Don't need. I see what you did there.
Full circle. So, anywho,
New
what
hashtag? I don't need blockchain.
Trust. Ooh.
So that's his thinking face. We just got you. Yeah, you're gonna have to come back to that.
Yeah. So, anyway, thank you for joining us this week with us in the kitchen with TriggaTrey, Fisticuffs, and myself. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell next to it so you get the notifications when we drop the videos on Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever. But anyway, look, we out.
This is your jam. Is this your jam, Art?
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blackity black, y'all, and I'm blackity y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blackity black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blackity black,
We're going to a club in Covington
because I'm black, and I'm black. Yo, I'm black, and I'm black, y'all.
Did you really?
No,
I want to.
You
should. No. Too soon.
I'm coming.
Too soon.
Mr. Cuffs. Mr. Cuffs. Turn me up.
That's it.
Just mute it off.
Wildin'.
I need to hear me breathing. There's nitrous in the air. Fisticuffs.
Oh my God.